Right, just give me an indication if you are still busy, please. Okay, so great. Let us mark this then. The first question, define job generalization. So that is then, it means that the employee does a variety of jobs. They may also even complete the whole task from the beginning to the end. Question 2, define job specialization. This is then when a task is divided into smaller parts and an employee only does a specific element of the task. Question 3, list any 2 advantages of job generalization. Motivate your answer by giving examples from the case study. So maybe you've said here, employees exposed to a variety of jobs. This may assist them to help others in the business, even though this is not their main job. For example, practical person in a management position could then assist the employees in the manufacturing of furniture. Anything in that line? Okay, the employee cannot be rotated within the business, like the CEO of a business may have an opportunity to take the role of a marketing manager. And another stage in their career can be the financial manager. Okay, so that can then be rotated, which gives other people an opportunity then to develop other skills. Question 4, list any 2 disadvantages of job generalization and motivate your answer by giving examples here as well. The employee may not be fully skilled in all components of the job. For example, the marketing manager may not have in-depth knowledge of the various functions in the business. So the employee may need more training and supervision, and that is then, if they are not used to manage the people, they will then may need to be monitored or mentored. Okay, so question 5. List any 2 disadvantages of job specialization. We've mentioned that. I'm just going to quickly name a few. There could be an increase in productivity. Also, employees can become more highly skilled, and then less supervision is required. It may give the employee job security, and also employee can do the job more accurately. Last one, the employee may earn a higher salary. Advantages. Then question 6, list any 2 disadvantages of job specialization. Motivate your answer. So the employee may become demotivated if they do not have experience, and that will then, or they do not experience the satisfaction of the end product, so they don't see what the end product looks like. For example, the manufacturing of furniture, so they all just do a little bit. Then the job may become boring, leading to lack of intellectual stimulation and also depression and a lack of motivation. Okay, all good with these 6 questions? Just putting this in another way or in a different form then for you. Okay, so the next part that we are going to look at then is then Unit 6.2, which is then forming an organizational structure. Just share with you quickly. Okay, page 118. Okay, so every business should have a clear line of communication from top management to lower level or employees, and then also vice versa. No? We've discussed this in the previous modules as well. So you need an organizational structure to be able to then create lines of communication so that the people at the different levels know who to then communicate to, upwards or downwards. The result in clear instructions and also help all the employees to in a business to know what or who to report to, what the report lines are or look like. Okay, so the organizational structure, that's a formal arrangement of jobs. So you will see this black on white printed. It is also most of the times displayed in the staff room or in some of the offices where the staff move around quite often. It indicates the different positions in the business and also how they are related to one another. It indicates the responsibilities and also the channel of communication that the employees should then follow. And then the last thing, information regarding the organizational structure or the benefits of that is then to ensure that all important work is done. It also eliminates the overlapping and matches the skills and training of the employees with the needs of the business. So according to the business needs, you will then align these jobs. Okay, so the different types of organizational structure, page 119. Now this is maybe not new work to you, but this is also something that they like to include in the national exams. I've seen this previously. First one that we have is a flat organizational structure, then a tall organizational structure, and the matrix organizational structure. Okay, so the first one that we're looking at is then the flat organizational structure. This is normally, it has a few layers and only one layer of management most of the time. So you will have the CEO there right at the top, and then the different managers for the departments, and then under that, the staff. So the amount of staff that you will, the chain of command, as they call them, that will then be from top to bottom is short. So chain of command, meaning from the CEO to the staff. And then the span of control, that is now the staff members. That is then wide, as you can see here. There's a lot of staff underneath each manager. Each manager is responsible for 3 staff members in this case, in this example. Okay, so because there's a small number of management layers, it's then the flat organization or often small organizations. So this will work in a small organization. Advantages of the flat organization, it's easy flow of decision making will actually be done. Faster communication channels, also the employees take more initiative and the employees take more responsibility for their decision making. Disadvantages, the wider span of control, the more employees to be supervised, and then could also confusion about the reporting line. So most of the times the CEO is so involved that the employees at the lower level might think that they can report to the CEO as well, where they should report to the manager. Then the next one, if you compare the tall organizational structure with that, here we have many levels of management and supervision. So this is then called a long chain of command and a narrow span of control. This is running from the top to the bottom. The top will be the CEO, and then the bottom will be the floor, shop floor workers, or in this case, then the salesperson, as you can see it there. Okay, advantages of the tall organizational structure. There's a narrow span of control, so close supervision, and then also clear lines of responsibility and control. Disadvantages, you can see there's quite a lot here. Decision making is slower because there's many levels to actually go through before you can get a decision. Also, the communication channels become long, so it's also slow. And then the last one, more money needs to be paid to the higher number of managers. Remember, a manager the salary can actually range from, depending on where now, the directors of sales. Yeah, let us just talk about the local sales manager. That could be about 25,000 to 35, depending on the size of the company. Also, obviously, what they are responsible for. And then you've got the regional sales area manager. That is then for the region, and then the directors of the different departments. So marketing, this one is only then for sales, and then also finance. So as you can see, many managers under this structure. Then the matrix organizational structure. This is where you form a team with specific skills to complete a project. Now, this digital training that you guys are on now is then also a matrix organizational structure that we have here. At this case, or at this moment, I have an assistant, and then it's me when we start from the bottom, and then the HOD, and then our principal, and then directly responsible for this project is then our project manager, which in this case is our academic manager at head office. So you are also part of this. Okay, so here you can see that you have the CEO. Obviously, our CEO also knows about that. And then two projects running here. So the first project has a manufacturing department, as well as the engineering and the accounting. So you always have departments, and under every department, you will have different levels, as you can see there. Okay, let us skip activity 6.1 for now. And then the departmentation part. This is then where you actually, as we've mentioned just now, have different departments in every organization. And this is just to make the whole process a little bit more structured and easier. So we have the function. That's the first one. Departmentation by function. So here you will specifically look at what the function of this business is. And according to the different functions, you will then draw up a structure. So in this case, the top level will be the CEO, then the middle level, the different departments, and then the lower level will be then the salespeople, financial clerk in this example. Then we've got departmentation that is then focusing more on the product, the different products that you're selling. In this example, it looks like a deli or something like that, a small business. You've got a manager there, and then the different products. So the bakery, under the bakery will be bread, cake, biscuits, anything like that that needs to be baked. Then the butchery, maybe meat, poultry, cold meats, sausages, anything in that line, salamis. Oh, now I'm hungry. Then the groceries, whatever you want to line under that. And then the fruit and vegetables, which could be fresh, dried, as well as canned vegetables. So you can see now under it is departmented depending on the different products that you have. The next one is departmentation by customer. And this is where you actually look at the demographics of your target market, your customer, and then what their needs are. So here we've got a manager who then is responsible for the children clothes, also men's clothes, and women clothes. Departmentation by process, and this is where you have different processes in every business that will form a specific department. So here we've got a workshop with a fixing dents. It looks like a scrapyard or something like that. Then a workshop, spray painting, and then another workshop that works only on the mechanical parts. Territory. This is our second last one. So the business is structured by region. So this one would then be where you have a manager with every different province that this specific business is then located in. And then time is the last one. So this could be either based by time of the day or then by seasonal times. So specifically this one then has manager for summer clothes and winter clothes, or then a manager for day shifts or night shifts. All right. I think we can do delegation tomorrow, where we are then, no, not tomorrow. Some of you I do see tomorrow. No, I do see you tomorrow. Yeah. So we will finish the delegation part then tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Please make sure that you sign the register. And I hope that you remember to read through all the information that we actually do on a daily basis as well. Thank you. Have a good day. See you tomorrow.